This is VSiN PrimeTime. Live from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Hour number 4 of VSiN PrimeTime. And when you blow a 20-point lead in games 1 and 2, you can't afford to blow another double-digit lead, and that's going to happen tonight. The Boston Celtics led by 14 in the third quarter tonight. Poof, it's gone. The Knicks up 7, and the Knicks now a 5.5-point favorite, Matt. They've been the tougher team. They've been on fire in the second half, wow. And we've got a fight going on in Edmonton.
The gloves have come off. The gloves are off, and we've got a brawl between the Oilers and the Knights. How about this? Looked like about 8 players in on it. Now we got two main fighters here. But this is game 4 of the playoffs. These teams are fighting for their lives. And both these teams showing a lot more fight, a lot more heart than we're seeing from the Boston Celtics tonight.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, this Knicks team now going to be up 3-1, Matt, on the Boston Celtics. This has been an impressive performance as the fight is continuing over there.
Haig for the Knights is trying to take his head off. That's actually a pretty good fight. The hockey fights are good. The Knicks are going to win the fight at the Garden tonight. Yep. It's 113-104 with 3 minutes to go. And there's an OG Anunoby breakaway dunk to put them up 9 at the 3-minute mark. Knicks now 6.5-point favorites for the game and minus 1,300 on the money line. Jason Tatum
grabbing his ankle
on the floor, rolling around in pain. Looks bad for the Celtics. And Tim, I know you're not happy with this team right now in the bet you made on the Boston during tonight's game. I'll say this. Celtics were up 14. They had everything going their way tonight. It looked like, all right, they're going to get into the next round. They're going to play the Pacers and be big favorites against the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. But the main problem with the Celtics and their style of play is they are too soft. When you shoot that many threes and you don't have a physical enforcer type of guy down low, Porzingis is too soft, first of all, and he's your big guy running the court tonight. He has not been a finisher. I think the Celtics, if they're going to and Brad Stevens is probably going to remake this team in the offseason, you have got to get more physical in the low post. This team is way too soft, and we're seeing this pop up tonight. The Knicks are not a fantastic team.
Nope.
But Jalen Brunson's tough. And the Knicks.
35 tonight.
Yeah, Knicks are showing a lot of toughness. By the way, Brunson over his player prop, point prop of 27.5. I don't know why you'd ever bet Brunson under. I would only bet him over pretty much in every game the Knicks are playing. I love Brunson. We talked so much about the Dallas Mavericks letting Luka go. Brunson might be the better player that the Mavericks let go. Brunson he's a guy that was a cast-off in Dallas, and he is a star. He's the lead dog for the New York Knicks right now, and he's taken over the series.
Clutch player of the year is showing it again tonight. 35 points. 13 of 23 from the field, 3 of 7 from long range. OG Anunoby's hit 4 threes. He's stepped up. Mikal Bridges has been fantastic. And we're waiting to see the replay. I think they're going to show it here, Matt, of the ankle injury that Jason Tatum just dealt with as he was down in immense pain. And I don't know, you got a better clear shot on it there.
It doesn't look like much to me. That looks like a LeBron James injury.
So we will see. He is being helped off the floor, not putting any weight on his right leg.
He didn't even really get hit. He just kind of fell on his own, right?
I don't know, but that does not look good. Jason Tatum is being helped off the floor, and you got to wonder.
Now the Celtics are going to limp into Game 6.
Well, how about this, Matt? The New York Knicks now are the favorites to win the Eastern Conference at plus 180. The Boston Celtics have just moved to plus 225. So that bet that I made when the Celtics were up double digits to win the Eastern Conference, adios. And now if Jason Tatum is severely hurt, which certainly that moment we just saw would indicate it.
I got a text from someone here saying that it could be an Achilles situation because it didn't look like he twisted his ankle.
As Jalen Brunson just hits the dagger, that's going to do it for this game. The New York Knicks are going to go up 3-1, Matt. And if Tatum is toast, so are the Boston Celtics. They are not going to win this series without Jason Tatum. The New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, are 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. And as pretty big dogs tonight, they came out barking in the second half. They have absolutely obliterated the Celtics in the second half as they were down once again The Cardiac Knicks, they were down 72-58 in the third quarter, and they are going to run away and hide, and they are now the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. They are going to have home court advantage in the Eastern Conference Finals, more than likely, Matt. The New York Knicks, all things coming up New York right now, as Jason Tatum will keep an eye on it, but it does not look good with that injury.
Wes Reynolds sitting at home right now saying, okay, Knicks fans, you're going to celebrate. Don't forget last year when the Pacers knocked you out of the playoffs and won Game 7 at the Garden. Looks like we're headed for a Pacers-Knicks Eastern Conference Final. Tim, how big of a setback is this for the Boston franchise if this happens to be an Achilles injury for Jason Tatum?
I'll just say this.
Wow.
I'm watching the replay right now, Matt. He's not grabbing his ankle. He's grabbing right here. He's grabbing at the Achilles. It was no contact. And you're looking at as he's in a wheelchair right now in the bowels of Madison Square Garden.
It's not the Paul Pierce wheelchair.
No.
He's not getting out of that one.
Yeah.
It looks like Tatum might have snapped his Achilles.
And that's done for the year, man. That's out next year. And you're looking at a Boston Celtics team that, look, will still be good, no doubt. But Jason Tatum, who was having a absolutely tremendous game. I mean, you can't blame him. You mentioned this last hour. You can't blame Jason Tatum for tonight. He had 42 points. He was phenomenal. 8 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. It looks like he's done for the series, done for the year, probably done for next year. The New York Knicks putting the finishing touches on the Boston Celtics. They are going to win this game. The New York Knicks right now, Matt Youmans, plus 180 to win the Eastern Conference. And I'd be curious to see what this series price reopens at, because the Celtics are not winning 3 games without Jason Tatum. Maybe they win game 5 back at home, but they're not winning 3 straight games.
No, I'm going to actually say right now, Tim, the Celtics are done.
Yep.
They are done. Because not only did the Celtics lose a 14-point lead tonight in Game 4, it looks like they've lost Jason Tatum possibly for a long, long time, and this is going to be the last time you probably see this type of Celtics team on the floor. I think Brad Stevens is going to totally remake this roster. And Tatum, if it's an Achilles, he's not going to play next season.
He'll be out all next year.
And this is a huge setback for Boston, what's happened here tonight. And it's going to be all about the Knicks. And their Knicks fans going berserk tonight with a blowout win over the Celtics. Right now it's 118-108. With 38 seconds to go. Tim, again, by betting, hopefully you grabbed good numbers with the Knicks when they were down tonight. At one point, the Celtics were minus $6 favorites and 11.5-point favorites, and they're going to lose this game. Let's see, down 118-109 with 30 seconds to go.
Boston Celtics had a 20-point lead in Game 1, blew it. 20-point lead in Game 2, blew it. 14-point lead tonight, all in the third quarter. And now it looks like Jason Tatum out for the remainder of the series. And if it is what it looks like, an Achilles injury, he's done for next year as well. And you think about, Matt, this postseason, we saw Dame Lillard pop his Achilles late in the regular season. We saw the same with Kyrie Irving. And now Jason Tatum, it looks like the worst there, a non-contact injury where he immediately grabbed the back of his ankle area and was helped off with no pressure on that foot, Matt. Seen in a wheelchair down in the bowels of Madison Square Garden, and the New York Knicks going to run away and hide, win by double figures, it looks like here against the against the Boston Celtics. Wow, what a turn of events here in Madison Square Garden, and the final seconds are going to wind off here. I don't think the Knicks, they'll shoot some free throws, but it's going to be all she wrote here on this one, Matt.
It's over. It could be over for the Celtics for the series. I would certainly think the Knicks are going to advance after winning this one tonight. They go up 3-1, and Jason Tatum looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the series. Who knows how long after that. Tim, we got a game starting here at 7:15. We're about 5-7 minutes away from the tip in San Francisco. Warriors and T-Wolves. Golden State in a desperate spot, down 2-1 in the series. Probably should have won Game 3, let it slip away in the fourth quarter. Jimmy Butler had a big performance when he finished with 33 in Game 3. He's going to have to do that again tonight to give Golden State a chance. We've seen some money show up tonight at Sharper Books on the Golden State side. Again, it's a home dog in a desperate spot at home. Like I said, down 2-1 in the series. Golden State now a 4.5-point underdog. 5.5, I believe, when we started the show tonight. I agree with that in a sense. There'd be Warriors or pass for me tonight, but I don't have a lot of confidence. And I didn't have enough confidence in the Warriors side to make the bet pregame.
I know. And, Draymond Green knows the number, so that's always a good thing to have on your side. If you go over to VSiN.com and look at it.
It's 4.5 now instead of 5.5?
It moved, Draymond. 60% of the bets, 63% of the handle at DraftKings, Matt, on the Minnesota Timberwolves, laying the 4.5, but we have seen that line movement. 76% of bets, 81% of the handle on the over 201 in that one. That number has kind of maneuvered a little bit now. It got to 199, back to 202 and a half at Circa. And folks, if you want access to those betting splits, which we get directly from DraftKings and Circa, giving you the insight on where the sharp action is landing, see the percentage of those bets versus the percentage of handle in every game across major sports, helping you make smarter and more informed bets. You can get those betting splits for as little as $9.99 for the first month at vsin.com/subscribe. It is all she wrote at Madison Square Garden, down 11 at the half. It has been 69-51 New York in the second half, Matt. All dominated by the New York Knicks, and to make matters much, much, much worse, it looks like Jason Tatum done for not only the series, but probably next year if the visions of what we think it was come to fruition, a torn Achilles. Oof, that is brutal for the Boston Celtics. Knicks about to go up 3-1. We got a game going on the ice right now. The Carolina Hurricanes, by the way, finished off the Washington Capitals 5-2. Edmonton up 1-0 on the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll talk some PGA Championship with Steve Sands of the Golf Channel next.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the sports betting network.
We got a final in New York City as the Knicks come back and beat the Boston Celtics, scoring 70 in the second half, Matt Youmans. They outscore the Celtics 70-51. They go up 3-1. And the big story out of that game, Jason Tatum, what looks to be an Achilles injury, more than likely done not only for this series, but you would think probably all of next year. And the opening line for Game 5 does have the Celtics favored, Matt, at -3 against the New York Knicks. You would imagine money probably going to come in on the Knicks. Before we get to our guest, quick update from north of the border, Matt, as we've got a watch party at Circa for Golden Knights and Edmonton.
Not much of a party here right now.
No, it is not. No. And not much of people are not happy as Aiden Hill, I beg your pardon, just got kind of bowled over by Evander Kane. He gets sent. Aiden Hill's going after him, but 2-0 is the score. All right, let's head to our progressive guest line later this week. Matt, I know you're excited. Down at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, we get the PGA Championship, and no one better to help us break it down than our good friend Steve Sands from the Golf Channel, who, Steve, you and I, DC guys, living in different necks of the wood across the country, and we're not too thrilled about tonight. It's kind of sucked with the Wizards getting the 6th pick and the Capitals getting smoked by the Hurricanes. So, what do you say we pick some winners down at Quail Hollow? And the weather has not been great so far, huh?
Man, hold on a second. When I saw that card come up in the NBA Draft Lottery 6, I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. If there's any team in the league, if there's any team in all of sports that deserves one break, let alone, a couple breaks, I mean, my gosh, the 6th pick. Holy cow. And the Caps look like they just got destroyed. And the Nats suck, but whatever. The football season's coming up. The schedule's coming out. It's been leaked out. Come on now.
All right, so as we look at Quail Hollow, I mean, you look atop the the odds board. It's Scotty Scheffler, shocker, at plus 425, and then Rory at 5-1. So when you look at history, right, Rory has loved this course, so I know it's short, but would you do anything with Rory? 5-1 to win, even money to finish top 5, -190 to be top 10. Are you expecting a strong performance from Rory at a course that he's had a ton of success at?
Oh, for sure. And you talked about the weather. It was monsooning there today. and it's supposed to be a little bit wet tomorrow as well. But the rest of the week is supposed to be okay as far as it is right now. I mean, there's a long ways to go, but it looks like the weather's going to be okay. And Rory, his history, Tim, on softer golf courses is tremendous. He loves playing soft golf courses, and he loves Quail Hollow. So there's a phrase in golf for all the gamblers out there called horses for courses, and this is certainly a venue that Rory is very comfortable with. I happen to be someone who thinks that you should never bet a short number like that. But in this particular case, at this venue, with the way he's playing, I really like Rory's chances this week. I think he's so comfortable now. I think there's a huge burden been lifted off of him after winning that career Grand Slam at the Masters in April. And I think Rory goes out and plays very well this week.
I knew you were going to say but. I don't recommend betting these low numbers, 4-1, 5-1, but Rory, because he's won 4 times on this course. This is like his backyard. Right. What's the right way to bet him? Would you bet him to win it plus, let's say, 550, or would you bet him top 5? Would you bet him in matchups? You bet him every which way?
I would probably go across the board, if we want to take a horse race and, phrase, Matt. I think that Rory's the kind of guy who I think Rory's going to contend. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing is, so that means top 10, top 5. And I think that 5-1, I know it sounds ridiculous, but, let's say you took 5 guys. Rory would have to be one of them. So if you took 3 or 4 guys and Rory was there, you would still make money. So I think Rory has got to be taken, win, place, and show here. In golf terms, I'd say top 10, top 5, and win for sure.
Steve Sands of the Golf Channel with us. Steve, before I went to Hawaii on vacation, I bet Scotty Scheffler plus 275 to win the Byron Nelson. I said, this is what you said. I never bet low numbers like this. I never bet the favorites like this. But Scotty Scheffler against a weak field in his hometown, he's going to win for the first time in 2025.
How'd that work out, Matt?
It worked out well. He ran away with it. And you would have loved to have plus 275 by the time we got to the weekend. So there are exceptions to be made. Don't like to bet the favorites in golf tournaments. But sometimes the favorite just shows it's going to be the class of the field. All right, so let's look beyond the top 2. Let's look beyond Scotty and Rory. Who do you think's dangerous? Who's going to make this weekend interesting? Is it going to be Bryson DeChambeau, Schauffele, Ludwig Oberg, Colin Morikawa, John Rahm? Who's it going to be?
Oh, I love the first name you just said. I think Bryson, Matt, by the way, nice call. I was in Dallas, was calling it and did not play it. But Scotty against that field on that golf course that particular week, forget it, man. That was as dominating a performance as we've seen on the PGA Tour in years. So if you take away those 2 guys, like you said, look, Xander had a nice week last week, not a great week in Philadelphia at the Truist. He's starting to round into form. Might be just a little early to play Xander. Maybe Oakmont and Royal Portrush, the next 2 majors for Xander, because I think he's just a little off target right now. I love Bryson on this particular golf course. The last time he played, because he's been on LIV the last few years, the last time he played Quail Hollow, 2021, he tied for 9th. Doesn't really mean a lot, but he is familiar with the golf course. He does know the course. He knows the venue, and he steps up in big spots. I like Bryson, and I like another LIV guy from off the pace, if you will, as far as numbers go. Look out for Tyrrell Hatton this week. The Angry Ant will play well in Charlotte. He'll play well in Charlotte. He'll look outside the ropes, enjoy those sundresses, and I think Tyrrell Hatton will have a very good week over the next 6 days.
Tyrrell Hatton 51-1 at Circa right now. Sepp Straka right there at 60-1, and he is off a win last weekend. Steve, any more mid-range shots that you like? Let's say guys like Joaquin Niemann, Shane Lowry, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, anybody like that who you think is going to play well if you're looking to play matchups, saying, hey, this is a bet-on guy this week?
Well, the Spieth thing is interesting because there have been 6 guys that won the career Grand Slam, Matt, and Jordan has a chance to now become the second guy in the second major of the year to do it and become the 7th. I don't particularly love Spieth on this particular venue in this spot. I don't love that. Other PGA Championship venues, perhaps, but not here. I think Justin Thomas is ripe to play great. He's won a PGA Championship there. He's played well at Quail Hollow and other events there when they played what is now called the Truist. It was the Wachovia and the Wells Fargo, but the Bank, let's just call it the Bank Championship in Charlotte. And And I think Justin Thomas, if you were looking at a third, fourth selection there, a little bit off that first, second pace, I think that Justin Thomas, certainly, Matt and Tim, is a guy you have to look at this week for sure.
Our friend Steve Sands hanging with us here on the Progressive Guest Line. The PGA Championship gets started on Thursday. And, when you look at course history, and then I'm curious your thoughts on a couple of guys who have had success, but right now the form doesn't seem to be there. 2022, Max Homa won this, but we know that he struggled this year, played decently at the Masters. Wyndham Clark in 2023 won this as well. So when you look at course history down at Quail Hollow, any other guys that you are interested in from a betting standpoint, maybe long shots there, Steve?
Well, I'd be curious to know in matchups with Homa, because Homa's starting to round into form a little bit. I saw him on Monday in Philadelphia, and we spent about an hour together. And, he's made a coaching change. He's made equipment change. He's made a caddy change. I mean, he's changed a lot. His wife's pregnant with their second kid. There's a lot going on off the golf course with Max. But as you said, Tim, tie for 12th at the Masters, which, by the way, gets him into Augusta the following year. So people think, tie for 12th isn't that big of a deal. It is at Augusta, and he had to make a putt at the 18th hole on Sunday to ensure that spot. So that was a big deal for him. And then he played sneaky well last week at the Truist. So I think Max is starting to round into form. If he is matched up against somebody and the odds look pretty good, I wouldn't be afraid of playing Max Homa, but he is not in amazing form. He is, however, starting to play just a little bit better. So I do like Homa a little bit this week, depending on who he's matched up with. I think that, I've said this to you guys before. Nicholas has said this to me over the years forever, Jack. He said, you do not find your game at a major. You bring your game to a major. So when I talk about a guy like Xander, don't love him because he's not really sharp. I do think Max is playing better. So I think that Max might be a guy, if you want to go a little off the board, I think Max might be a guy who's worth a couple of dollars in a matchup.
Steve, quickly here, final 30 seconds. Tell me if you think one or both of these guys are worth a shot as first-round leader, because Justin Rose is at 90-1, Keith Mitchell at 125-1. Would you take a shot on one or both to lead in the first round?
Have you seen the Keith Mitchell stat?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Keith Mitchell, I think he's been the first-round leader 8 times. Literally. Now, he hasn't won. He's not great on Sunday. Right. But, my gosh, is he good on Thursday? I think for sure Keith Mitchell, if it's a good number, I think Keith Mitchell is definitely worth a couple of dollars on Thursday.
Steve, always appreciate it. We got Jaden Daniels. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Okay. Capture big trouble. It's not September yet. Let's relax on that, Tim.
There he is. Steve Sands, our good friend from the Golf Channel. It is VSiN PrimeTime.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The summer right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, and you can go all in here at Circa Las Vegas. They've got the ultimate getaway package for just $400. Here's what you get: 2-night stay here at Circa, $100 dining credit, $100 beverage credit, your very own day bed at Stadium Swim, and the party never stops. It's all for $400. Resort fees and taxes included. This limited time offer is valid for stays between May 26th and September 4th. Don't miss out, Matt. Lock in your all-in summer package now, Circa Las Vegas. .com. Underway in the Bay, 6-5. Golden State with a 1-point lead right now over the Minnesota Timberwolves. After one period north of the border, the Edmonton Oilers lead 2-0, and the first period over cashes for the third time in 4 games in that series. So when you look at the 2 series on the ice tonight, Washington, Carolina, Vegas, Edmonton. First period under, 4-0 in Washington, Carolina. First period over, 3-1 in Vegas, Edmonton. And it comes home tonight with 2 goals from the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see, Matt, if the series plays out the way that it has. The team with the lead has not felt comfortable, really, at any point in that series. You
definitely have to consider a comeback here if you're going to bet live. Look at the dog. But, we've got a watch party here tonight at the Circa Sportsbook. And it's, Tim, it looks like a Sunday. It looks like an NFL Sunday. This place is absolutely packed. Behind us, Derek Stevens throwing his big party up here on top. We have a packed sports book, and it's pretty quiet right now because the Knights are down 2-0. I think they're in a tough spot here against a team that's more talented offensively. And I'd be surprised if I would not recommend a bet on the Knights to come back and win this game tonight.
Well, what you did recommend was take a look at the Knicks at some point throughout the night, and that was great advice because the second half was dominated by the New York Knicks, and the Knicks go on to win and beat the Boston Celtics for the third time in 4 games. They were a home dog, Matt. They trailed by 14 in the fourth quarter, and they come out with a 121-113 win. They score 70 in the second half, and then to make matters worse, late in this losing effort, Jason Tatum goes down in a heap of pain, and you and I were curious initially, okay, what is it? Is it going to be an ankle? And then we rewatched the replay, and we said, oh, that's bad. Immediately grabbed the back of his, I believe, right foot as it looked like an Achilles injury. And right now, Matt, if you look at various sports books, I'll pick FanDuel. The number at one point in time, as we talked about during the game, was around minus 180 or maybe even higher. I don't know what the peak was for the Celtics to win the Eastern Conference. I made that bet at minus 150. Matt, the Celtics right now at FanDuel are plus 750. And honestly, those odds are too short.
Dead money.
They are not going to win this series.
I don't think Tatum's going to get up out of the wheelchair and play Game 5.
No.
In Game 6 and Game 7 because
going to find him a new Achilles tendon.
I think the Celtics are finished. They're done. And This team, as we know it, this championship team from a year ago is going to have to be totally rebuilt by Brad Stevens. First of all, the Celtics are too soft. You give up 70 points in the second half tonight. You're shooting 40 to 50 threes per game, and you're not shooting at an especially high percentage. In fact, 25% in the first 2 home games of the series in Boston. So it went from bad to worse, and it's going to be an ugly ending for the Boston Celtics. It looks like we're going to have a Knicks-Pacers Eastern Conference final, and Knicks are going to be the favorites.
Reggie Miller, shades of him, 9 points in 8 seconds, right, in that series. So
Pacers knocked out the Knicks last year. Don't forget.
That'll be a battle. So your current.
How many times did I hear this last year, Tim? No way the Knicks are going to lose Game 7 at the Garden. And the Pacers went in there and pounded them, bonked them.
And the Knicks were just ran out of gas. They were run out of bodies, injuries galore. The depth of Indiana is certainly something that Cleveland is learning about right now. We've got questions about Cleveland and their durability. Is Donovan Mitchell going to play? He did not play in the second half in that whooping on Sunday, and Game 2 is tomorrow. So your current updated odds for the Eastern Conference, we'll use DraftKings. Knicks plus 130, Pacers 2-1, Cavaliers plus 450, and the Celtics at 6-1. And as we mentioned, with the likelihood of Jason Tatum being done for not only the playoffs, but probably next year, that would be a waste of money at this point on the Boston Celtics, who, by the way, I will say this, Matt, and maybe there's a thought process from the bettors out there that the Celtics are just going to come ready to play without their star in Game 5 at Boston, because this opened Celtics -3 and has been bet up to Celtics -5 right now at DraftKings. So without Jason Tatum, the Celtics still laying 5 against the New York Knicks at TD Garden for Wednesday night's game.
Do we know for sure that Tatum has an Achilles injury?
We do not.
Okay.
That is the pure speculation. So, yes, we do not know for sure, but it certainly looks like he is out.
That was such a bizarre situation because he did not even take a hit. He just took a step and fell, and that's why it looked like it was not going to be a serious injury. But the way he was covering his face and being wheeled off the court looked like it was something he knew was pretty bad. 9-9. We got a tie game right now in San Francisco, 5 minutes into it.
All right, so we do have on the ice here tonight, we had a winner from the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Hurricanes, I can only imagine what that series price is out to now as they lead 3-1. And the Carolina Hurricanes now -2,000, Matt, to win the series against the Washington Capitals as they win 5-2 tonight over the Caps. The Caps showed a little bit of life in the third period. 2 goals cut the deficit to 2-1, then 3-2. But ultimately, the Hurricanes too much, and they add an empty netter for good measure. Game goes over the total. Hurricanes come home with a 5-2 victory over the Washington Capitals, and that series heads back to Washington for Game 2 on Wednesday night. And now after 1 period, I beg your pardon, in Edmonton, it's 2-0 the Oilers, and right now the Oilers minus 560 on the money line, and your total sits at 6.5, juiced over minus 145, which is actually a little bit down from where it closed, which closed around minus 160 at a number of shops. The Golden State Warriors, Matt, trying to fight for their lives. No Steph Curry, of course, in this game for Golden State. They're down 2-1, and they lead 12-11 right now midway through the first quarter. Live number here in Golden State is Minnesota minus 4.5, as this possession here for Golden State is going to end with nothing, and the T-Wolves are going to go down and hit a three-pointer on this possession to make it 14-12, as it looks like Mike Conley is the one who hits it from the free throw line extended area.
Hey, do we have the footage of the washout today at
Yes.
Quail Hollow? Let's take a look at we don't have the sound, but we have the video. So Tim, make a rain. There you go. Sound effect. When we show you this video. So the rain was coming down, as Steve Sands, our guest from the Golf Channel, said it was like a monsoon in Charlotte today. Look at that. That was a complete washout today at Quail Hollow Golf Club in Charlotte, and supposedly it's going to be very similar on Tuesday. So not a lot of practice time for these players on this course, but, man, the rain is really going to soften this course. And Scotty and Rory will be bombing it off the tee as the favorites at about 4-1, at about 5-1. Here at Circa, Scotty is plus 475, Rory plus 515. I think you can make an argument that should be flipped, that Rory should be the favorite here. We were talking before the show about Rory's track record of success at Quail Hollow. He's the course horse. This
Won
week.
it 4 times.
This is his home course, essentially. He feels most comfortable playing here. He's got to come in with a ton of confidence, like Steve Sands mentioned. You got that. You got the monkey off your back. You finally won a major for the first time in a decade and got the Grand Slam completed. So Rory, I think, if I had to play one of the favorites, I'd play Rory. Now, I'm not going to play him at 5-1. I might play him on the adjusted odds after the first round if you get a better price or something like that. But I thought Steve Sands mentioned a couple of players that I'm really interested in here too, Tim. Bryson DeChambeau at about 11-1. Justin Thomas at about 22-1. JT is starting to play really well. He's a 2-time major winner. Both those majors are PGAs. Justin Thomas, I think in the mid-range, is one of those guys you got to look at 22-1. Shane Lowry might be a contender this week. I know he took a tough loss last weekend, but at 36-1 here at Circa, I think he's worth a look. Also, I thought Terrell Hatton, who was mentioned there by I'm not going to bet Hatton. I never do. But I certainly think he
The Mad Ant, is that what he called him? Is that what
you could also call him the Mad Hatter. Terrell Hatton is a player I think you can make a really good case for this week. I'm not going to play him, but at 51-1, I think that's worth a bet. The thing I mentioned to you and the last thing I said to Steve Sands, look at 2 guys who've got off the hot starts in big tournaments or tournaments in general this year and play well in the first round. Here at Circa right now, Justin Rose is at 90-1 to win the tournament. Keith Mitchell is at 125-1. Tim, I'm going to put small bets on Rose and Mitchell to be the first round leader. You're going to get big numbers on those guys in the first round.
We got the Preakness coming up this weekend as well. We just saw the draw of the posts earlier tonight, and the morning line favorite is Journalism. And if you want to bet on the Preakness, folks, no better place than First Bet. You'll get rewarded, too. New customers use the promo code VSiN200 to score a 20% rebate on all wagers for the first 60 days, up to $200. So win or lose, you get paid back. Download the First Bet app or visit first.com/bet. And the promo code is VSiN200. Once again, first.com/bet.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is VSiN Primetime on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Putting a bow on the show, it is VSiN Primetime alongside Matt Youmans. I'm Tim Murray. We've had a final on the hardwood as well as the ice tonight as the Carolina Hurricanes go up 3-1 on the Washington Capitals. They win 5-2, over hits in that one, and expensive money line, but it does come home. Could have gone the puck line as well. If you had gone that route, you were a winner. The big one, though, the New York Knicks come back again, down 14 in the third quarter, Matt, and they come back to win 121-113. The big news in this, the injury to Jason Tatum. While we don't know for sure what it is, speculation is it is an Achilles injury. How about this tweet from Greg Harvey at Between the Numbs on Twitter? The Knicks are the first team in NBA history to have 3 comeback wins after being down 9+ points at halftime in a single playoff series. Game 1 down 16, Game 2 down 9, tonight down 11. Won all 3 of those games, Matt. By the way, if you bet
the Knicks,
you bet the Celtics first half, you'd be 4-0 in this series, and they are down 3-1, and they are now significant underdogs to come back and win the Eastern.
I want to point this out too because there's so much talk about the Mavericks trading Luka. How about letting Jalen Brunson go?
Yep.
You think he was not a franchise player? Jalen Brunson played 40 minutes tonight, scored 39 points, had 12 assists, and 1 turnover. And obviously 4 for 8 from 3, shot the ball well from 3 again. And I think he's the kind of tough player that the Celtics are lacking a little bit. In general, the Knicks just a tougher team. Not a great defensive team. Not a great team in general, but I think Jalen Brunson sets the tone with his toughness. Former Villanova star and a steal for the Knicks. 39 points tonight. Knicks, by the way, shot, Knicks from 3 tonight, 12 for 34, 35%. The Celtics were 18 for 48 after they started 12 for 24. The Celtics, I think in the second half, Tim, 6 for 24 from 3.
At Reddit CFB, the Celtics have led by 16, 9, 25, and 11 points at halftime and are 1-3. Nebraska football level bad late game voodoo. Oh, man. Right now, if you look
at your star player gets wheeled off with an injury, so it's bad news for the Boston Celtics all the way around.
Right now, at 2:53 to go in the first quarter, Matt, Golden State leads 22-21 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. The number closed 4.5. Right now, live number sits at 3.5 between the Warriors and T-Wolves. The total is up to 207.5. This game closed at 201.5. On the ice right now, we talked about this series and how fun it has been to watch. Well, the folks behind us right now, Matt, are not having a whole lot of fun as they are watching the Vegas Golden Knights trail 2-0. Live number Oilers minus 540 on the money line. VGK plus 360. It is worth noting the team to score first in all 3 games has lost in this series, so we'll see how it plays out. But I think your point was fair. It doesn't feel like right now, Matt, that Vegas is playing their best hockey here tonight.
No, and also the captain, Mark Stone, limped off with an injury in the previous game. I think, is Stoney playing tonight?
He is playing, but who knows how healthy he is.
I haven't seen him out there much tonight, so that's another thing to keep in mind that's going to slow down the Golden Knights. How about this for an oddity with the Golden State Warriors right now, Tim? They are 3 for 8 from three-point range. 2 makes by Draymond Green and 1 by Gary Payton II. That's like found money for the Warriors. And they're up 22-21 late in the first quarter. Jimmy Butler, 1 point so far. Buddy Hield, 1 point. So I think that's actually a good sign for Golden State that you're up 1, and the 2 guys you need a lot of scoring from, and Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield, you have not got it yet. So I would say a decent start here for Golden State.
How about this stat that I just saw come across? So the Atlanta Braves tonight were up 3-1 in the top of the ninth. They get a fielding error. They make an error that ties the game at 3. Then they walk it off in the bottom of the ninth inning. OptaStats pointed this out. It's hard to break records in Major League Baseball. We have a record. The Braves have alternated 1-run losses and 1-run wins in 7 straight games. That is the longest such streak by any team in Major League Baseball history.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so there you go.
I want to point out from baseball tonight, too, the St. Louis Cardinals win again, 3-2 at Philadelphia. That's 9 in a row for the Cardinals. The Twins came into tonight with an 8-game winning streak as well, but the Twins not in action on tonight's card. The Pirates did lose, so if you took Paul Skeens for the first 5, you pushed. If you took the Pirates for the game, you lost. Mets won that game 4-3. Also tonight, Justin Verlander and the Giants trail. The D-backs 2-0, top of the 5th in San Francisco. The Tigers, the best bet on the board tonight, home underdogs, right around plus 107. Tigers 14-2 over the Boston Red Sox. And also we should mention 2 more games to mention. The Colorado Rockies, if you're betting the runs line against the Rockies every day, loser tonight. Ooh. Rockies had a 1-0 lead. They blew it. They lost 2-1 at Texas. Also, the Padres up 3-2 on the Angels, bottom of the 4th in San Diego. Padres, big favorites tonight, minus 215 behind Michael King.
Al Horford postgame said, the loss is the loss. More importantly, it's Jason I'm worried about. Yeah, does not look good for Jason Tatum. Emotional as he was wheeled through the bowels there of Madison Square Garden. Joe Mazzulla said the Celtics don't have any updates yet. He said Tatum will have an MRI tomorrow. Hasn't provided many more details than that. That according to Jay King, who covers the Celtics for The Athletic.
If you're a Celtics fan, you might want to tune out when this show's over because Joe Serralo is going to walk in here and he's going to talk about the Knicks and how he bet the Knicks and how the Knicks are going to win this series for the first hour. I don't think he'll take a break.
Yeah, and Joe might be looking at a best bet on the New York Knicks to win the Eastern Conference as that sits at plus 130, the Pacers at 2-1. Let's get to some best bets. As always, our best bets brought to you by our friends over at G-Bank, the official bank of VSiN. Matt, I know you're going to solidify your card for the PGA Championship as the week goes on and as markets open up, but who are some bets that you are eyeing up for the PGA Championship, which starts Thursday at Quail Hollow?
All right. Justin Thomas is probably going to be a mid-range play for me at 22-1 right now at Circa. Shop around, see if I can find a better number. But JT in pretty good current form, and he's got 2 PGA major wins. And if you got to look for somebody beyond the favorite, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, I think JT's playing well enough right now. You could consider him at 22-1. That's probably going to be a bet for me. I'm also going to make I don't know about the rest of the card, but I can tell you I'm going to make first-round leader bets on these 2 guys. So Justin Rose was the first-round leader at the Masters. He's got a history, a track record of playing well in PGAs. Justin Rose is 90-1 to win this tournament. I'll look for a first-round leader number that's similar to that. And also, the guy who had the first-round lead last week, has had it multiple times this season, Keith Mitchell, former Georgia Bulldog. Keith Mitchell's at 125-1 to win this tournament. Let's bet Rose and Mitchell to be the first-round leaders.
I want to go back in time and make my best bet. Dallas to win the NBA lottery. 1.8% chance to come to fruition, and the Dallas Mavericks get the lottery. The Dallas Mavericks, about an hour ago, tweeted out a video of the celebration when they found out they would have the number 1 pick in this year's NBA draft. If you missed it, the draft is going to go Dallas, San Antonio, Philadelphia, 1, 2, 3. Folks, just a reminder, G-Bank, you can get their Visa Signature Card today. Most credit cards treat sportsbook, and gaming transactions as cash advances. That's even when you put your own money on the card. G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees on gaming transactions right there. Also, with G-Bank, you're earning 1% cashback rewards on all eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions and 2% cashback rewards on eligible purchases. Apply now. VSIN.com/GBank. That's VSIN.com/GBank. G-Bank. End of the first quarter in Golden State. Oh, Gary Payton II just missed a free throw line jumper as time expired. 28-27, the end of the first quarter in San Francisco. Your live total, 206.5, Matt. And your current line, Golden State, still a dog, but down from 4.5 to 2.5 after 12 minutes of hoops.
Yeah, 28-27, 2.5-point home dog now, total 206.5. T-Wolves minus 160 on the money line. We'll let Joe Serralo take it from here, but I'm pretty sure the first hour of Joe's show is going to be all about the Knicks.
Well, the Knicks are a 5-point dog in Game 5 on Wednesday night there in Boston with Jason Tatum. TBD on the status, but it does not seem positive. That's Matt Youmans. I'm Tim Murray. Thanks to Johnny Avello, Douglas Farmer, and Steve Sands for joining us. As mentioned, Joe Serralo's got Cashing Out coming up top of the hour. Then start your morning with Super Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis. VSiN by the books at 7 a.m. This has been VSiN Primetime.